Hello, hello. How is everyone
Oh,
today?
very good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's jump in early and get this dropped. We're allowed. So we'll start with our snapshot review. So we have two active proposals at the moment. Currently, what do we have? We have the renewal of the DAO facilitator roles and a term limit extension. At the moment, we're sitting at 47.7% quorum, and we have a yes vote of the majority vote is 70. Oh, computers having fun. There we go, of 71.03%. So we still have 7 days left on this one. It's ending on the 4th of July. So there's time for this one to go through. And what we're looking for is just to continue on as we've been going. The four facilitators, myself, No Future, Roxiano, and FaZe, we'd like to continue hosting the meetings. We think they provide a value to the DAO to have all our snapshot review or our discussions, to be able to have speakers come on and let us know what's going on in the world of Web3 and DAOs. And we are just looking to extend our terms to 12-month terms this time, because the 6-month renewal and election is coming around pretty quickly each time. So as there hasn't been any interest from anyone else in joining as a facilitator, we think it would be better just to extend out for 12 months and take it from there. But obviously, if anyone has any issues or wants any adjustments, jump in the thread and let us know. Or if you're voting no, leave us a comment so that we can include it in any future props as required. After that, our next prop is the Future of Gotchi Battler. So this one still has about 10 days left to the 8th of July, and it is currently sitting at 66% quorum with a yes vote of 80.65%. So here Immaterial is looking for a final funding round to take Gotchi Battler into the realm of sustainable gaming. So he's looking for 245,000 to be distributed in 3 tranches. So upon passing of the proposal, we have 99K for game development. Then the second round comes in around September at the public beta launch. And then the final payment of another 19. This one includes the marketing budget, but also is Immaterial's second payment for the work. So this one will require another vote from the DAO to be successfully released. So we have a few safety nets built into the prop to make sure we try and get deliverables delivered. But if anyone has any questions, I mean, it's a very well written proposal. He has all the links there, and the threads have been very active too. So if you need further clarification before voting, jump in there or hit Immaterial up, and they will let you know what you need to make your decision. So we still have time on those two props, and it's very nice to see Snapshot active again. So that is our snapshot review. I do have Alex from DAOBox coming on today, but seeing as we're starting early, I don't think he's here yet. So what we can do is just jump to our other discussions. So we have ArtCore, and he is looking to organize a ghostly giveaway prior to our base landing. So ArtCore is, okay, so are you here if you want to raise your hand? Okay.
Hi guys, how are you
Hello,
doing?
hello. Very good, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. So I just think that it's gonna be a good marketing move to make a giveaway since it's been like a basic tool to acquire more attention and users. Um, so everything is simple. I don't really know what I need to explain about the movement that I'm planning to do, but I just need some assistance with making it happen because I'm really busy through the summertime here. So um, I just need some people that will take control over the assets that will be given away, and I will need um, some assistance with um, Aavegotchi. I mean, like Aavegotchi X profile that gonna be pushing this news to to get wider audience because my Twitter has like maybe 800 subscribers, so it's just like nothing. So I'm just planning to give away around like 10 gotchis, including some gotchi like fully pack with items, also some items, and of course ghost tokens too. So I think the giveaway is gonna be in like three batches. The first one is 1 week with the ghost tokens. Second one, like the price is gonna be rising up. So and the last one will be containing the the most how's it, the most expensive things like the the gotchi with items and the biggest ghost prize. So I'm still thinking on the conditions that that will be requiring for the reposts. The people supposed to use gif gifs at least because when people using videos or gifs on the X, it's like how I don't know how to explain that, but Twitter loves videos or GIF files that GIF because GIF files also taken as a videos that taking more um, Twitter I mean X is pushing the post with videos and GIFs more harder than just pictures. So I think the GIFs gonna be like a solid requirement for the reposts or in the comment sections to be able to participate in that. And I'm thinking maybe I should also add as a rule that if you want to participate with the giveaway, you're supposed to get the gotchi itself from the bazaar to to already acquire some people in our community deeper because like I know that it's gonna be a bit messy to just yeah, maybe that's gonna be fine. If the group's gonna join me, also I think that Trax have some knowledge in the marketing since he was working for the Pixelcraft as a marketing specialist. And I actually need anyone who's interested in pushing Aavegotchi attention forward, like any whales that interested or not whales, anyone who's interested in promoting Aavegotchi and acquiring attention. And I think lending to the base is going to be like the right time to do so, and maybe like a few weeks before that. So yeah, I need some assistance for sure because I just cannot hold this thing by myself alone.
No, that's understandable. So you've got a forum post up and you've got examples or a rough draft of kind of the tweets that you want to go out and the conditions for each one. So obviously all this is still tweakable. So anyone that has a interest in the marketing, please jump in there and lend your thoughts. And when will you said this is prior to the base landing. So when were you thinking
Y-
this would start? Or hopefully.
I think I need some cooperation with the Pixelcraft team because they
Hmm.
probably know the not really exact time, but I think they might give me an idea where we're supposed to start this actions and like I just want to bring the community attention to this because like one man in the field is not warrior because if we're gonna be together we're gonna be doing this stronger and better because I think the ideation is also important because I just was bringing my ideas to the AI and also I was using my own vision of this, so I just want also to push forward the concept of Gotchis as a spirits of some people that passed away, so it will be of course as one of the conditions um, in one of the giveaways that you guys need to ideate some great names of the people that passed away for the gotchis that's supposed to take these names. So if you guys know my account, like my wallet, let me post my wallet by the way. If someone will be interested, you can have a look. I have like 118 or something gotchis and all of them or maybe just minus one gotchis have like names of the famous people that been taking some historical place in the Aavegotchi. So I really would love if all of our community will have those epic names of the gotchis carrying, not just like number one or FOMO gotchi or wherever, like people taking these funny names because I know that some smart people already took like Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe names like long ago when I just started with Aavegotchi, and I'm still sick about this idea. And I think this idea not being quite advertised because there was only one time when Kodadzan was saying like, "Yo guys, when you're buying a Gotchi, please think quite wisely before taking the name because there is a lot of the names of the people that is like super rare and super important in in real life. I just want to interact with real life and to play with people's brains a bit more than we actually do right now, and we never promote this before. So I really want to us to become something more than just NFT with the funny, cute looking gotchis and stuff and like I don't know. I think I just said already a lot.
No, that's completely fair, but I definitely agree. We do need a team of community members to get together to pull this one off and also to manage it because, like you said, we don't have time for the distribution and to manage the whole thing. So I mean, I think it's a great idea that we get some interaction out there. We have all these awesome gifts. We may as well make a push to use them, and then that can kind of roll into whatever marketing is happening once we land on base. So it might maybe create a little bit of noise or momentum. So the more heads we get in on this, the better. If anyone has any ideas, I'm not seeing anything in the chat at the moment, but I mean, there's definitely things we can do here. And the
Yeah,
naming is definitely something that we can play with because there are some cool named gotchis out there. So I think leaning into the names a little bit more, seeing as they have to be unique, is definitely something we should play around with.
yeah, I just really want our community to be a bit more active and interact with each other and like to support some intentions that we just thinking gonna be useful for our community and like the entire protocol because uh, there is some things that really can hook some people up. Like I think I'm not the only sick person thinking about like harvesting the souls of of dead people and shit. So I really want it to be real, but this is one of the concepts that I were thinking to be uh, hooking up, right? So maybe the condition of having at least one gotchi to participate in the giveaway could be a good thing to do, mm, but in the other hand, it's like we already giving a how was it? the entrance conditions, like the people need to spend before they acquire, and no one promising them that they're gonna be a chosen one to get those things. So I really need some support and participation in ideations of conditions. And like if anyone wants to combine the strength of the giveaways, like to expand the pool of the things that gonna be given, I will appreciate that. But if not, it's fine. I'm gonna send all the assets to the person who's gonna be responsible for the distribution, because I really cannot follow this. And I'm always using VPN to join the Discord. So for me, it's kind of painful to follow up with Twitter or the Discord sometimes, because I just like checking up on Discord a few times a week, just like opening the VPN and log in, check the things, how is it going, and yeah.
Cool. No, that's fair. So if there's anyone out there that wants to help out with this, I know Flame is always looking to do a bit of marketing, so maybe we can get a few ideas from him if he wants to jump into the forum. But anyone else, new or old, if you have any ideas on how we can get the word out there and how we can make the most of X and a little campaign to get more eyes on Aavegotchi as we transition, because now is a great time to build a bit of momentum so that when we land, we've got something going on before and after. I think that would be cool. So
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah, go on.
yeah, because momentum is really important. Because right now we just about to enter some new field. We live in the polygon and we entering the base, and I think it's gonna be like quite noisy to enter with some giveaway to the base. So it's just like, yeah, we're gonna acquire some eyes, the new eyes from the base, and I don't know if someone will have some ideas about like how to attract more attention from the base users. It's going to be absolutely great, because I didn't even think about like concepts of taking attention from the base people, because I was just thinking about the basics that was happening with my brain about the Aavegotchi protocol only, and the assets that we have right now, and the concepts that could be used as they are right now in our protocol.
Yeah, and that is a great idea from Jesse there. Makes complete sense. I'm not amazingly familiar with base communities and who's who in the zoos. So anyone that has that info and that can help us target different communities or who would be a good fit and nice matching vibes or whatever else, it would be really cool if you can drop into the thread and share your info so that we can make the most of this. I see some people dropping some hints in the chat there already, which is awesome. So yeah, so please jump into the thread, guys, and have a look at what's already there, what you think can be changed or expanded on. And as far as the assets and prizes for this were concerned, were you donating these or hoping for extra donations, or did you want these funded by the DAO?
Look, Chair is saying something that does it actually have a connection with the base, the Humpy? It's on Farcaster.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely another community.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Humpy has his thumb on the base echo. Oh, so so it seems like we need to go to the Humpy and talk to the people about the thumb on the base, or like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, yeah. So we can get an advice from them, right?
exactly. So, so anyone who's interested in joining in on this little effort, jump into the forum, so you guys can coordinate and reach out to the communities or get some more organization together to get this happening because the migration is approaching. So this would need to get off the ground pretty quickly to make it before we move. So yeah, awesome. Thanks everyone for throwing in the ideas. And alrighty.
I
So
just
if
want to
there's
say that the
Mhm.
cheer. Let's cooperate, bro. I trying to send the. Oh, you're not my friend. That's why. I trying to send the message to you to cooperate, but I need you to add me on. So, all right, guys. I think my speech is over. I think you can move
Perfect.
on.
Yeah. No problem at all. Well, thanks for coming up. Thanks for the idea, and hopefully you'll get some more ideas in the thread after the call as well. So fingers crossed, we can get a little marketing push organized before we move to base. So thank you, and I have see here that we have DAOBox in the audience. So we are going to jump over there. So if you guys can raise your hands, I can bring you up on stage, Alex and Pavel. Let's see.
Everyone.
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. So for those of us who aren't aware, we have been talking about our foundation a lot lately and the structure of it, compensation, legalities, all the fun stuff. And it has been mentioned a few times that DAOBox is in existence and they might be able to help us out with managing the foundation or different aspects of that. So we have Pavel here, and I'll send the mic your way, and you can give us a bit of a background on what services you can provide and how you think you can fit the Aavegotchi DAO Foundation.
Wonderful. With pleasure. Thank you for having us once again. My name is Pavel. I'm co-founder of DAOBox. We are a team of lawyers, corporate lawyers, and we launched the project DAOBox in 2022 to focus specifically on the needs of decentralized autonomous organizations and creation legal wrappers for decentralized autonomous organizations. We work with legal structures in multiple jurisdictions that are suitable for decentralized autonomous organizations. One of them, of course, is Cayman Islands, because Cayman Islands have the legal framework for ownerless, not-for-profit foundations, which is very good or very flexible, so it can be customized to be actually subordinated to the decentralized autonomous organization. And this is very important because what we saw in the early days, there were created multiple of foundations as ecosystem units or DAOs, but in fact, they worked as standalone organizations with management not accountable actually to the DAO. And what we did in at DAOBox is we create very custom structures, but that are not only by design and by the idea are subordinated to the DAO, but by legal design. So we make the organization that is accountable and subordinated to the vote and to the governance of the decentralized autonomous organization. It means that the DAO has legal rights to adopt a legal resolution that will be enforceable against the foundation, and the DAO will be able to replace the management, to direct the DAO, to give assignments, to give budget and to control that budget. And this is one part, the legal design, what we do. And the second part, what we also do for the decentralized autonomous organizations in terms of legal wrapper is that we take control of the legal wrapper if necessary and act as a hired managers. This should not be confused with provision of services of nominee directors, because we actually work for the legal wrapper and for the DAO, and we set up a dedicated team, work on a day-to-day basis with DAO contributors, members of the DAO, execute the assignments typically at the beginning of the year or in the middle of the year. We discuss with the DAO broad operational roadmap. So what assignments are the priority for the DAO for the next year? It can be IP, it can be management of contributors, payments, different stuff. And we create necessary operational infrastructure for that, if necessary, open accounts, create legal agreements, and facilitate the operations on a day-to-day basis. And it's very accountable to the DAO. So we are always online and in touch with the contributors appointed by the DAO to work with the legal wrapper. But also, at least twice a year, we provide a very comprehensive, detailed written report on the main aspects of how the legal wrapper works, financial statements, and other topics that matter for the DAO. Each DAO has different priorities. So that's the scope of services we provide. It works very well today. It can be efficient. We can, as a team, replace a number of team employees that in other case you would need to hire to perform the number of services that we provide. Yeah, so
Awesome.
that's the main essence of the DAOBox, what we do. I'll
Excellent.
be
So
happy
at
to
the
answer any
moment,
questions.
lovely. Well, we have No Future has a question here. So, I mean, at the moment, we have our foundation. I'm not 100% sure if it's classed as ownerless. I don't think it is. But we have two directors and our or officers, and we have a third officer, which is an independent nominee provided by our corporate secretary. And then we have a corporate secretary that handles all our paperwork and filing fees and whatnot. So it's possible for DAOBox to come in and replace part
Yes, we
or
can.
all of that, isn't it?
Yes, of course. We can actually take positions of director and supervisor. So in the Cayman Islands Foundation, you have two positions, board of directors, it can be sole director or multiple of them, and a supervisor. The Outbox can assume all of those positions.
Awesome. So, because I was looking on your website there and I saw you had the example with Gearbox, and I could see their notice of incorporation of their foundation. And yeah, you were down as the director, the sole director officer, and the nominee. So in that situation where you take on all those roles, what would be the cost of that per month or per year?
Yes, so we charge typically signed to year engagement, and mm,
Let's say you have the 6,250 per month for a standard monthly management fee, but does that include stepping into all of those roles, or is that a more basic offering?
yes, exactly. There is no like an onboarding fee. These are the fee you mentioned is exactly the fee for all the positions mentioned and for all the work that I mentioned as a scope.
Excellent. And how often can we, well, if we had you guys in those positions, then we wouldn't be changing anyone on the documents, which would help. And then as far as legal advice, you have your own, obviously, legal counsel from Aurum. Would we would still, as a DAO, need our own separate legal counsel, right?
Well, for like basic things that we used to deal with as a DAO box, as a director of the foundation, we don't need legal advice. But of course, if you up to like entering some complex legal agreement with another organization, you would need a legal advice. This can come from Aurum, or you can hire another legal advisor. It's up to you, yeah, as a DAO to decide with whom to work. We
Okay.
as a DAO will work with any legal advisor as you decide.
Excellent. And what else did I have there? I also saw that you guys can do multi-sig signers as a role. What is the cost of that, and how quickly would you be able to be implemented if we were ever in an emergency situation and we needed an extra multi-sig signer ASAP?
Well, if it's not the multi-sig that is multi-sig of the foundation, so if it's a multi-sig of the foundation, there is no additional cost. If you need, we
It would be
can
the
set up.
multi-sig of the DAO,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
we can
don't think that
discuss this.
counts.
Mhm. We can discuss this further. So we need to understand our role in that multi-sig, uh, but it's possible, of
Right.
course.
Excellent. I was just saw that on your website and I was just wondering because it has happened in the past where we've been changing out our multi-sig signers, and just in case there was ever a gap, it would be nice to have a backup plan.
Um,
And as far as our foundation constitution, if we were to take on DAOBox for our director officer roles, would we would probably need to update and rewrite our constitution to fit better, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I would recommend to do that. We can review the articles and memorandum of the foundation and see how to enhance it. Because for us, it's important that, as I mentioned, the subordination, it's for the DAO, it's better to have it. Then we typically need to cover different things such as reserve matters, uh, limit the capacity, the authority of the directors, because we are hired managers, and of course we need to work with certain boundaries. Then such things as legal communication between the foundation and the DAO should be um, structured properly. We will do that.
Fantastic. And the other question I had, because currently we have two DAO members as our two directors, what if we were to replace those two people with your company's services, what kind of like legal risk would we be saving those members from? Because at the moment they are named on our documents. So what kind of liabilities are they in danger of, if any? And how would your DAOBox help us out in that regard?
A good question. General principle is that the director is liable for the period of his office at the organization.
Hmm. And was there also a 1 year after that termination, or was I reading something different?
No, there is no such default rule that, because
Cool.
the previous director cannot be liable for the actions, for example, of the DAO-box, and vice versa.
Right, right. So, but at the moment, because we have two directors named, they are currently in the firing line, right? Or are they
If you
still protected by the foundation itself?
If they're active direct, of course, the foundation provides the limited liability as a limited liability company. Yeah, so it safeguards the directors to a certain extent. But of course, directors, they also have fiduciary duty to the organization and can be liable for the actions and for their decisions in
Right.
certain
But
cases.
if,
Yeah.
okay, and so if those directors only ever executed the will of the DAO and never actually made any independent decisions or changes, they should be all right, legally speaking?
Well, it depends how the current articles and memorandum of the foundation structured, but uh, that the fact that they execute the will of the DAO by default does not protect them. So,
Okay.
of course, they are officers of the organization. They have fiduciary duty. They have uh, certain statutes by the law. Therefore, of course, they should consider uh, the decisions they make. That's why it's important when we structure the the documents of the foundation that we make the red line which we cannot cross, even if there is a will of the DAO. And it's important always to discuss it. Yeah.
Right. Excellent. And so just to be clear, when we are saying words like director, vice president, president, secretary, treasurer, that in Cayman Islands Foundation speak translates to the officer, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And so if anything was to happen, let's say someone decided we needed to be sued for something, does that liability then all fall on DAOBox, or how would that play out?
If we are talking about this a civil case, then typically it's the foundation will be the party to the dispute, not the directors. Directors can be in case they breach the fiduciary duty or make a criminal offense.
Okay. And so if someone decided to sue the individual directors for something that wasn't criminal or a fiduciary responsibility, then that would technically just be, a legal inconvenience, but it wouldn't actually go anywhere.
Well, in any case, that would be considered by the court, but if the defendant, in this case, the director, is not proper, then it just would be no result for the plaintiff. Yeah.
Right, right. Cool. All right. So I see Ditchy came up on stage. Did you have anything you wanted to say or ask?
Good morning, all.
Morning.
So, hello, Pablo, and thank you for joining us this morning. We have an interesting setup with our foundation in that the executives on the paperwork, excuse me, don't make any executive decisions. See, our DAO doesn't do any outside business currently with any legal contracts or any bank accounts or any transactions in fiat. We're 100% just blockchain transactions right now. So the DAO itself holds its votes and its quorums to make all of the decisions, and the directors on the foundation are there in name only. So that, excuse me. In addition to that, they do not have control over the treasury. That is yet again a quorum-based vote by the DAO itself. And so that's kind of the structure we're looking at carrying forward, whether we do it independently or with you. So in this kind of hybrid setup, the DAO would be making voting decisions for all of our transactions on chain and off. The treasury would be under the control of the DAO. And if we were to bring you on board, DAOBox would be named as the executive directors. So you mentioned that creating red lines in our constitution of where we don't go. Would that be legal advice to the DAO itself so that we know don't vote this kind of issue because you're going to cross that line?
Thank you. Good question. No, not exactly this way. It's a red line for directors. So how we see it is that the foundation is a legal wrapper of the DAO. And the DAO, yes, makes its own decisions. It has indeed its own treasury. And it can make, for example, allocate certain budget to the foundation and ask the foundation to execute certain contracts. And as I mentioned, in some cases, the board, DAOBox, as a board member, may refuse to proceed with the transaction because it, for example, would be in a breach of law. This is
Okay.
this is the third line I mentioned, but it's not. But the DAO can make any decision, and if the DAO is not see that they are not agree, they make this decision, for example, once again, and then typically what we implement in the articles and the memorandum of the foundation is that if foundation makes the same decision twice, and we are not agree with that decision, that means that we like need to resign because we are not in a position to execute the decisions of the DAO. But we don't want to be a blocker also. Yeah, this is not
Okay.
our goal. Then we will ask for the resignation.
So when you mention contracts, the first thing that comes to mind is paper contracts in the real world. But does contract execution extend to smart contracts on an Ethereum network as well?
Form of the contract doesn't matter for us, as as long as it's a legal contract and some sort of liability that uh, the foundation as a legal entity can assume. No problem. Yeah.
Okay. So again, as it stands right now, our foundation directors don't make executive decisions. They merely we're voting on an annual budget for them in the near future, and the only actions they take right now is to make sure that the foundation company maintains its compliance on an annual basis.
Exactly.
Okay, but with some more structure in there, we open up the door to be able to do real world transactions, bank accounts, fiat, and legal contracts as well. Is that accurate?
Yes. Typically, this is the role of the foundation to be some sort of a bridge between on-chain organization and off-chain world. Yeah. So this is one of the
Okay.
use cases for the foundation. To have account, to enter into transaction, make payments. Yeah.
Radio
All
on.
right.
Oh, go for it.
I think that covers my questions for now.
Excellent. So does anyone else have anything they want to know? I have one question in the chat here where we have a few members curious to know what other DAOs are you currently working with?
We have created multiple legal wrappers. Not in all of them we act as the managers,
Mhm.
but we have like Gearbox, as you mentioned, recent Ex Machina. We have created for them legal wrapper.
So most of the time, DAOs are looking for the legal wrapper, just the setup of the foundation, and they self-manage them afterwards, generally.
Yes, so it can be some number of contributors from the DAO itself that want to be board members. There are also legal wrappers that do not have the members, the officers. For example, like Marshall Islands DAO LLC, it's a member-managed organization, so it's always enough to create only the organization and then DAO members. It can be managed by the DAO members.
Right. And would you um, think the Cayman Foundation or the Marshall Islands is more useful or flexible or appropriate for a DAO in maybe our situation?
They are different. Both are very good structures. The foundation, think of it as a partial wrapper, so it doesn't absorbs the DAO as an organization. So the foundation stands nearby the DAO, and you create the foundation for typically for certain functions. For example, to hold the IP, manage contributors, make payments, enter into agreements, hold off-chain assets, and foundation is a very good structure for that purpose. Then, if you want to create an organization, a legal wrapper that actually absorbs the DAO, then DAO LC is a better structure because it's actually like a full wrapper. So the DAO LC becomes the DAO becomes the DAO LC and vice versa. So in case of foundation, we have as a different substances the DAO and the foundation as a legal wrapper. But in case of DAO LC, the DAO and the legal wrapper merge, and every token holder becomes the member of the DAO LC by virtue of holding the token. And why it is good, it gives the legal protection to each legal member and contributor of the DAO. While the foundation by default doesn't offer legal protection to the DAO and to each token holder, except in the cases where the foundation is a party to the transaction. For example, if the foundation enters into agreement with third party by according to instructions of the foundation. In that case, the foundation shields the DAO because it assumes the role of the counterparty in the transaction. And in case something goes wrong, the foundation will be liable. So this is the
Okay.
Oh,
difference.
so Forin, I had another question that just came up based off of what was just
No
presented.
worries.
All right, so our foundation company in the Caymans, as I've been reading through the documentation, it looks to be set up similar to or as a nonprofit organization, meaning that in its structure, its primary purpose is for us to invest the treasury for growth, um, if specifically in the fiat world. But there is a caveat in there where it says we may not distribute profits back to the members of the foundation. So it seems, yeah, in this current structure, it seems like we've got a treasury in the DAO. The foundation company gives us the legal wrapper to go ahead and buy assets, invest in companies, lend money out, or any other investment activities we want to do with the treasury. But if we want to do any kind of rewards or gaming rewards to our members within the DAO, we cannot do it with the existing treasury. It needs to go through a third party. Am I reading that correctly?
Good question. Yes, by design, the foundation, although it's not charitable organization, and because this is the status you need to claim separately, but yes, by design, the foundation is not for profit, and you cannot make distributions to the members or any like related individuals. But there are like turnarounds, and several of them. I would recommend to discuss this more with the legal advisors. But of
Mhm.
course, the role of the foundation, again, we need to see how the purpose of the existing foundation is drafted, maybe make amendments to that. But the purpose of the foundation can be quite broad. It can work to benefit the ecosystem of the project. And therefore, that may include staking programs, grants, rewards, but this needs to be structured properly.
Okay, and if DAOBox is handling the role of the executive directors on the foundation, and we contract you to also design some of these other programs like contributor rewards programs, would you be able to draft those and structure those, and then within our DAO, we'd have, say, an advisory council or coordination council where you would have single points of contact, one to talk to, say, for marketing, one to talk to for legal structure, one to talk to for budgets, or is that the ideal setup for this?
The DAOBox itself is not a legal firm, but the ORM can do all that for you. Yeah.
Okay, so they can, Orem would be our point of contact for designing something like a contribution reward system.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, cool. And as another question, if we did take on DAOBox as our directors or officers, and then DAOBox disappeared like our last corporate secretary did, what happens to our foundation? Do we just need
Sorry,
to replace?
could
Sorry, I'll
you
say it
please?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our last corporate secretary was supposed to be handling all our compliance documentation and legal paperwork. They went and disappeared, and we found out much later. So if something like that were to happen again, if we had DAOBox taking on these services for us, and then DAOBox disappeared, what position would that leave us in, and what would we need to do to rectify it?
Okay. So you still have a registered agent in Cayman
Yes,
Islands.
yes.
Yes. So the point is that this is again why the design of the uh, documents of the foundation are important. You need to have always an ability as a DAO to replace the management of the foundation. You need to have the enforceable right to do that, so that you can bring the DAO resolution to the registered agent in Cayman Islands. That's why I would recommend to review your articles and memorandum.
Okay. And as far as the payment, your firm is paid monthly, but you also have a one-time incentive payment. Am I right? Is that equivalent to 1 year's annual fee that's locked up in some way?
Yeah, typically on the terms that are not less beneficial that there are the contributors or advisors have in the DAO.
Okay. And if something was to happen to DAOBox, that one-time incentive payment, does that automatically come back? Is that in a smart contract somewhere, or is that something um, we might have to fight for?
Well, these are like technical details. We can discuss them. So both of the our parties are comfortable with the agreement.
Okay, okay. And I have two more questions from the chat. Are you able to give us any names of any DAOs where DAOBox is representing the DAO as officers?
Well, the public example is Gearbox. We have very
DAOBox.
detailed use case, on our website.
Okay, so that's still an active
Yep.
situation. Excellent. And would you be able to, maybe in the chat here or in the forum, could someone drop maybe an official list of other DAOs you've helped set up their foundation wrappers for? Because we have a few interested members who have been looking into all this for us, and I'm sure they would love to take a nose around and see how their wrappers compare to what we're currently with.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, Foreign, I just want to,
Excellent.
because it sounds like we're about to wrap up, but real quickly, my comment that I made with the last CorpSec, in order for us to change from the default CorpSec, the one that ghosted, we needed our current officers, which was me, Choina, and my Callium, to basically sign off on the replacement because we couldn't do that without officers signing off. It was kind of a small issue because my Callium wasn't available, but we were able to do it with 2 out of 3 of us. Now, if DAOBox steps into those roles, what would happen if they did go under? Because now we don't have officers or CorpSec. So the next CorpSec we sought wouldn't be able to, it would be almost impossible, if I'm not mistaken, right? To actually make changes. Is that correct?
Not exactly. So there are two options how to do that. As I mentioned, we can create a documentation of the foundation that will recognize the vote of the DAO made on a certain value, for example, snapshot, as a DAO resolution, enforceable. So that, for example, the DAO, if it makes the decision to replace the directors, it can be legally recognized by the registered agent. This is option number one. Option number two, uh, you can appoint additional supervisor or act as a supervisor. So we can act as a board members and you act as a supervisor. Supervisor is always in a position to replace the management of the foundation.
So it might be prudent to have, for us that are a little bit battle scarred, maybe to have our own officer on there as well, just as a safety net.
And then my quick question would be that supervisor, are we talking about the nominee supervisor? Because currently we have in our structure, the corporate secretary has given us we're using their agent as a nominee supervisor, and then we have our own 2 officers. So is it the same thing, that supervisor, the nominee supervisor?
Well, I don't know, to be honest, how you work now with your registered agent and how you're confident in them. But if you're okay to continue working with them as a supervisor, that's fine. Yes, they can act as a supervisor. The role of the supervisor is very limited. They are not actually a directors, officers. they need to intervene only when they think that the management, the directors of the foundations, act not in line with the purpose of the foundation. And for example, one of the options of the action that they can take is to replace the management.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We would then, if we do keep Lotusha in that position, we would still have to pay their basic nominee fee, and then also their basically what we're paying them now. We would have to continue to pay them unless we
Yes.
choose one of us to be the supervisor.
Yes, you can act as a supervisor personally in this capacity, or you can create additional organization, limited company that can act as a supervisor.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. All right. So does anyone else have any more questions for DAOBox? I think I've grabbed all of the ones from the chat. No, I think we're good. Well, excellent. All right. So thank you so much, Pavel, for coming up. And if anyone has any more questions, they can throw them into the thread. I think we might be, I don't know, do we want to start a new thread? Because I think I just linked it into the DAO compensation for the foundations forum, as that's where most of this discussion has been happening previously. So if you could drop us the list of other foundations you've helped set up and worked with, and if there's anyone else that you are actively managing as officers, that would be really interesting for our members to dive in and get more fluent in what's the deal with Cayman foundations.
Okay, thank you everyone. It was a pleasure to connect and talk about
Thank you.
yours today. Yeah, we will revert
Thanks
to you.
very much.
Yep.
And we'll be in touch. Thanks for coming on, and we will see where we go with our discussions in the forum and which way we want to take our foundation in the future. Thank you.
Wonderful. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.
Ciao. All right, cool. So that is foundation governance and some options there we have for replacing our current setup and maybe jigging it around a bit to suit better. Because at the moment we just have no future in China as unwilling participants in one sense. They've just been thrown into the deep end. So it would be really nice if we could start moving forward with resolving this for them so that they can be back in the positions they actually applied for. Alrighty, well, taking a look at the agenda, the next thing we had was looking at Hungry Ghosts and new DApp features with Fifoooo. Oh, Fifoooo, are you still with us here? See, you've managed to post on Snapshot, which is very good. Oh, Lord.
GM, you hear me?
GM, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we need to thank Coderdan for being able to post again because he had to contact Snapshot guys. I think he got us a trial or something like that because it would have been stupid to pay $6,000 just for the time we still stay on Polygon, because I guess at some point we will move to base and Snapshot will move to base also, and so yeah, thanks to him for that. So yes, the prop is live. I just posted the link, and but yeah, first about Angry Ghost. As I announced, PG and I, we are working closely with Coderdan to kind of redefine the original white papers that had been written. Thanks, Not Futuristic, for pinging also Snapshot team. Thanks a lot. To redefine the white papers that had been written by ChatGPT, and that was not, how can I say, it was a good start, but it needed some real polish, I would say. So we are on that phase, and Coderdan has also started to potential sponsors, or what we called originally teams. And the idea overall is that I'm supposed to meet one of those big sponsors at ECC. And the idea is that we want also to kind of see what interests them the most, what seems to be the most interesting option regarding staking, incentive, rewards, and so on. What seems to be the most interesting for those sponsors, and what seems the most attractive for them? Because the idea is that when you look at the program the idea very quickly and you read the white paper, the API seems to be more or less only based on the Aave API on USDC or Go, which is 5%. And basically, in that case, the whole thing about increasing BD size and all those stuff, all those strategies is about grinding just a bit more of that 1%. The idea is that we get to an APY that is more somewhere between 10 to 30% by adding other incentive and by finding other sponsors that will be willing to play games, to play the game. So that's the first thing I wanted to say, is that the goal is not to get 5% APY thing. The goal is to get higher APY by additioning other subsidies or other incentives. So we are working on that, and basically we started working on that like 2 weeks ago. And because I realized while reworking this white paper with Coderdan that it was going to take some time to get into something that is more definitive, something that is attractive for sponsors, and something that is not too complex, not too easy, so it cannot be really tricked. So that's why I decided to post the other prop I was working on regarding adding new features to the official DApp. I'll talk about it a few times over the last DAO hour, so I'm not going to re-describe everything. I will just post a link to the thread here. The idea is that, as I say somewhere in the thread, is that Hungry Ghost is going to be at least 50% of the work on smart contract side, meaning PG will handle that part because he's way better at writing smart contracts than I am. And Pixelcraft will be involved in for the, how can I say that, the art. They will be involved in the marketing. I will do the web UI, and PG will do smart contracts. So there will be a lot of back and forth. Plus, we are not close to getting a prop for that. So that's why, at first, I wanted to focus on Hungry Ghost because it seemed like a few weeks ago it was going to be a prop that could be posted very quick. And on the other side, everything was ready to post the prop for Aavegotchi DApp features. Everything was ready 2 weeks ago. So I decided to wait. But then 2 weeks later, I realized it was a bad strategy because that would be... if I take another contract outside Aavegotchi, basically, I will never do those things. So I prefer to focus on the ecosystem. I think PG and I will gain some experience on the previous run. And I think it's time we use that experience and we lower the cost, we lower the amount of time and money we need to deliver features to the ecosystem. So that's why I decided to post this feature right now, knowing that Hungry Ghost, I hope it's going to happen also, but I know it's going to happen in a few weeks, I guess. And I am also very happy because tomorrow Maxi Crouton is coming, let's say, by my place. We are taking his car. We are going to Cannes to ETC, where we'll be meeting with Mr. Seb. And we also be meeting, well, I'm not try to pronounce his name properly and not be too bad about it. So Schnitzel Death, and we will also be joined by Umami. So it will be 5 of us for the 4 days of ETC. I'm super happy that I will. You need a McDonald's review video from Cannes with Maxi Crouton. Yeah, because fun fact, no future, you need to know that I'm pretty sure that McDonald's in Belgium is not the same at McDonald's in France, because everywhere you go in Europe, there are some slight difference between McDonald's on every countries. So if we have a McDonald's there, of course we will go to this place. So yeah, I'm super happy to go there. Thanks again to the Gotchi Greeters program for letting us for paying some of the cost to getting there. And yeah, it's going to be a very good time, even if it's extremely hot in the south of France those days. They announce I think in Celsius, they announce top 34 or 35 on Cannes while we'll be there, and like minimum 26 or 27 at night, so very hot night also. And I don't know how much it is in Fahrenheit, but I think it is above 90. So yeah, very hot, but we have a lot of events to go that are lined up, and we'll be very happy to represent the Aavegotchi community. And yeah, that's it for me. And yeah, of course, okay, burger for Maxi Crouton, very well. We will take a video and so on, and we will send it here. Don't worry.
That's
He
the
gave
most
us
important part, absolutely.
7. He didn't like the cheese. Yeah. But I think McDonald's in Europe is twice the price of McDonald's in the US. So I hope the cheese is a bit better.
I should hope so, and I'm hoping there's at least 50% more actual food in it in Europe. But I haven't been in a McDonald's for a while, so who knows?
I tested once in USA, and I have to admit that yeah,
It's
no,
different.
it's not the same. Yeah. No, I will stay polite, but USA McDonald's was a very bad experience.
I don't think I'd be game enough to try it personally, but hey, awesome, and good luck with the heat as well. 34, it's going to be a little bit toasty. I'm sitting here in
Yeah,
37 degrees
there's
right
the beach.
now because it's
It's
just
can.
hot.
It's can. You can go to the sea. You can go to the beach if it's really too hot. It's not the main goal of the week. Go to the beach, but it's just there.
It might
It's
happen.
yeah. ETC is like 500 meters, less than a kilometers away from the beach. So it for sure is
Excellent.
going to happen. Yeah. Okay, and that's it for
Good.
me. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Well, thank you for posting up the prop on Snapshot. So it's there as we speak. Currently sitting at 0.2% quorum. So nice and fresh. But yeah, it details
Yeah,
the
it's new.
3
Notice.
features. 3 features for wearable lendings, batch lending, Gotchi batch lending, and the BRS optimizer. So have a read through, jump in the forums if you have any more questions or clarifications you need, and we can put this one to the vote. This one's also got a payment schedule included, which is in three disbursements every third. Upfront disbursement of 6,000, 3 further disbursements of 6 every 30 days, and then a last payment of 5,000 once everything's all concluded. So jump up on Snapshot and give it a vote, and we can add some more features and take this Hungry Ghost forward, which would be interesting. Very cool. So does anyone else have any more non-McDonald's related questions? I think we're good.
Yeah, I just want to real quickly highlight the arcade machine that I dropped pictures of. Shout out to Mr. Seb. He organized and got that. Like, it's a smaller than the big one, but it's we have a European based arcade machine now, so it looks great. I love the wrap and the stickers he he put it on. So if you're out in Cairns, definitely stop by and try to play the game, get some footage of it.
That is awesome. Always thought we needed one of these floating around Europe somewhere, and it looks great. Very cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Excellent. Jealous. All right. So that will be cruising around France for ETH CC. So that's starting nice and soon. So I'm sure we'll see plenty of things going on the socials with that event. It's usually a pretty big one.
Yep,
Excellent.
we'll do our best.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So then that leaves us with our last topic on the agenda, which was the discretionary fund. So Ditchy has posted another draft of the future snapshot proposal. So he's chopped it up into pieces, and we have a proposal coming up separately to refund PC what they have already paid to save our foundation and keep us going. So that comes to, I believe it was 16,952. So that's just a reimbursement. And I don't know if you have anything more you want to say on it, Ditchy, but I think the only other change I noticed was a payment for, is it China in no future that is referring to provide something resembling a continuity doc for the next officers or whatever we end up choosing. Is that what I'm reading?
That is correct. So the basic idea is just we need them to document what they've already done in bringing the company back into compliance. And same thing with the treasurer. So if Maxi Crouton can give us an outline of these are the duties that are being fulfilled on this schedule. Right now, it's mostly just the monthly snapshot of the treasury. But I'd like to get that documented in an official capacity so we can put it into the data room. And the proposal offers $100 to either of the DAO directors. Either of the DAO directors to write their document and $100 to the treasurer to write his document.
Okay, okay. And so, China in the future, are you up for that? Or is this one still under negotiation? History. All right, well, I haven't seen anything in the forum saying otherwise. So at this point, let me have a look here. Everything is still tracking along. So check out the draft. And if no one pops in with any curveball comments, when do you think you might be posting this one?
Well, if I don't get any comments by the end of the weekend, I will assume that everybody read it and approves of it. So I'll go ahead and post it up on first thing Monday.
Monday. All right, no future. Hopefully you get a chance to go through it before then. And we will see how we go with that document. I mean, this is a fairly informal document, really, isn't it? It's really just putting on paper who was talked to, who were points of contacts, why things were done, why they were one way or not another. It's kind of fairly just like a diary of.
Yeah, it's like a handoff to whoever's going to take the role next, just like you would in an employment setting. Here's the outline of the responsibilities, so that you're not coming in, taking the seat, and then trying to figure out all of your roles and responsibilities without a guiding document.
Ideal. All right. Well, we will see how we go. Or maybe we'll need to chop that part from it.
So the other
All
part
right.
that was in discussion is going to be the ongoing director's compensation SIGPROP. But in light of today's meeting, there's going to need to be more discussion about how we want to structure. So no point in putting out a sig prop for funding if we don't know who's going to be in the roles. So we'll go back into the chats and the forums and continue that conversation.
Yeah, because that definitely will change things dramatically. The budget we're currently looking at, from what I can see, is much smaller. Well, we didn't land on any figure for the directors, but the DAOBox management is looking at around 75K a year plus locking up 75K worth of Ghost as an incentive fee with a minimum of a 1-year contract. And that's just for the management. That's no treasury management because I don't think anyone's interested in that. And potentially in the future, they do have the option of managing IP holding, which is another thing that might be relevant down the line. And that comes in at 3K a month. So that's 75K for DAOBox minimum if they're managing and stepping into the foundation positions and taking No Future and China out of the firing line completely. But then we also have the option of having our own directors, but just getting them to help us set or change, adjust the foundation to be kind of more suitable for the DAO situation we're in, because I was looking at the foundation document we have and the one that Gearbox has from them, and there's very different wording, and it looks like ours could be updated a lot to make it more Web3 DAO specific, which probably wouldn't hurt. But that's something we need to take into the discussion in the forum. And we can also use DAOBox's fees as a bit of a guideline when we're discussing what we would potentially be compensating our directors if we choose to go that way. So, and we have to do this quickly because No Future and China are in the hot seat. So we can't really drag this out for another few months, as they put it. So anyone that wants to get their voices heard, we'll get some links dropped in the forum thread, the DAO structure topic number 2, foundation directors. But the compensation one is Gotchi has posted. That's the best one for DAOBox style discussions and foundation director discussions. And we can get that moving so that we can sort this mess out finally. Yes. Well, they're probably, Lev has posted here that there should be a job application type post. There will be once the job is finalized, but at this point, we're kind of just plugging holes and putting out fires. So it's kind of just happened, and we've ended up in this situation for a few reasons. So hence why we need to start addressing this with a sense of urgency, because it has been going on a while now since we first learned of the situation with our previous CorpSec ghosting us. And luckily we managed to save it thanks to No Future and China's help. But we need to finalize this setup. How are we managing our foundation? How are we dealing with our legal risk and everything that comes with it, and who is going to be named on these docs and how much we're going to pay for them, because we do have to pay someone to cover this. And as it stands now, we're already technically paid to a certain extent for a year. So we need to not take a year to work this out because we need to solve this. Yeah, and then once we have worked that out, we will have the compensation responsibilities and risks nailed down so that anyone that does nominate for these roles will actually be going into it fully aware of what they are signing up for, which is the most important thing, because we don't want anyone taking on any unknown risks just because they were thrown into the position. So if I expect we will get a prop up for at least the reimbursing Pixelcraft portion of things next week, and let's all jump into the forums and we can try and work out where we want to go with our foundation. So does anyone else have anything they want mentioned or brought up before we wrap it up? Because I think we're nearly at the hour. And I think I've covered everything I had at this point. I'm going to take that as a yes, all good. So thanks everyone for coming out and sticking with us through all our foundation talks and all the other fun stuff we've been doing for the last few DAO calls. It's great to see Snapshot moving again and other ideas coming out. And let's keep it going. Thanks everyone and see you next time.
Take it easy, everyone.
Ciao, ciao, guys. Bye.